It's time for your Talk Time Live exclusive.
You are now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is connected to several of my favorite primetime shows and movies, starring in season 1 of the ultra popular Netflix series and drama Narcos, and also making such appearances on Grownish, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, those shows, and Parks and Rec. Recently, HBO Max's The Sex Lives of College Girls, and many, many more. Her name is Danielle Kennedy, and she is back on the show to talk about her latest appearance on Ghostbusters Afterlife, her FilmQuest nomination for Best Supporting Actress, and much more. Danielle, welcome back to Talk Time Live.
I love being with you, Dax. How are you today?
I am quite fine. It is such a pleasure to have you back. And it of all this, 2021 has been a very, grateful year for me. It's great to have you as part of that.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure always.
So before we get into the Ghostbusters talk as such, and by the way, to anybody listening and watching, no spoilers, so we won't spoil it. We'll just talk about her, experience with it. But I want to congratulate you on getting nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the FilmQuest Festival for the horror movie Two Witches. I gotta say, I saw a clip of this, and it reminded me of that. No matter how tough I claim to be or am, yes, I still don't mess around when it comes to horror flicks. And this is your angle. This is your thing. So for those who have yet to see or is too afraid to see, so can you tell us about this, the story of this movie and this really creeped out creative movie?
Well, there's actually two stories connected with it. Part one is the story of a girl and her boyfriend and the baby and all this and that. But anyway, I'm in the second part, which is the mother of one of these girls that is being tormented by her roommate, who she finds out later is a witch. And briefly how I got involved, because this is Pierre, the director's very first feature film, and he's from France, and he's so talented. Oh my God, he's been like, Spielberg with the camera since age 9. Wow. And I got involved because my dear friend, who is just an incredible actress, Rebecca Kennedy, she and I did a short called Amy a couple of years ago, and it won a bunch of awards. And when this role came up, because I didn't know Pierre, Rebecca suggested me, and it was during COVID. Yeah. And I had just moved out to the desert, so we had to, follow all the COVID rules. Yeah. Luckily, there was just myself and Pierre on set for most of that shoot, and then Rebecca came in, and so there were just 3 of us. So, and it was, very heavy protocol.
Right.
But we did this at the height of COVID, and I got to tell you, he put that in film festivals. We, all of us have won best film, best cinematography, best score. Rebecca was nominated for best featured actress, which, I mean, she's amazing. Right. And I was fortunate for this nomination. So, and I'm going to tell you, I love horror, and I was the biggest scaredy cat as a kid, but it's really flattened nothing can scare me now. I mean, Psycho. Wow. And the birds, I was like burying my head and
you literally face the problem of your fears, something that a lot of people don't normally get, take the chance to do.
No, it's a hoot. And it's great for someone my age, because you look like you're going to haunt a house anyway at my age. So why not do it and be paid for it? Oh my God.
A word to the wise, I guess.
Yes. That's my quote of the day.
But, I mean, that's good to know, because that was one of my questions. Like, how was your experience on the film, and, compared to other horror, projects that you've done, how would you, compare this?
Oh, it was top notch. But, I also have to give big kudos to Gus Cooper and Ray Esposito and all those guys that produced. God, I hope I'm not. I know I'm forgetting people that produced Amy. That was a wonderful experience.
Like your word acceptance right now.
Yeah, and Leaf Holt, who did Lizzie. I played Abby Borden with Gary Busey, and he chopped my head off in the film. And
not Busey.
Yeah, I mean, scary stuff. But honestly, I don't think I've ever laughed more than when I'm making horror films. And you look at them after, and they're scarier than heck.
Right.
They're messy. I mean, like in Two Witches, man, it takes you an hour to get rid of.
Like I said, like I'll try to show my wife a clip of this because she's not a horror buff too. But I'm like, trust me when I tell you, this is the sweetest woman you will ever know, and the sweetest person you ever know. But check this out.
Oh man, yeah, my husband, he's always scratching his head. What are you up to now, lady?
So, all right, let's talk a little bit of Ghostbusters talk. Like I said, this is a non-spoiler conversation right now because as of today, the movie, the much anticipated, very much anticipated, long-awaited movie premieres today, Ghostbusters Afterlife, which you get the opportunity to be a part of. And what was it like being a part of this time-honored movie franchise?
Oh, just wonderful. Just wonderful. I brought my little wrap swag.
Awesome.
This is a coin. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, we see it. Oh, for those who are watching the video version, will.
Yeah. And then this side, it's got
Zool.
Yeah. And it says Rust City. So
nice.
Just like all the other kids. I mean,
Yeah.
Finn and all. None of us, Celeste didn't either. None of us knew what we were auditioning for.
Right.
I was on vacation up in Idaho, and I got a note from my manager that said, can you put on a pair of roller skates and do this audition? And I said, well, what's it for? And of course you're on vacation and you're like, oh no, not. I mean, I love to audition and all that stuff, but I was like, okay. And nobody had roller skates. All they had was roller blades.
Right.
And the name of the movie, and my agent didn't even know, was Rust City. So we thought it was like some little independent film. We didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And I couldn't find roller skates. And I used to be a competitive ice skater. And,
okay. So that I think based upon what I've seen, this answers a lot.
yeah, it helped a lot. So I had my ice skates with me because there's an ice rink up there.
Yeah.
And I just went to the general session at the ice rink, and there was nobody there except a few kids. And I went up to this 19-year-old and I said, hey, I've got this audition. Can you read these sides with me?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be serving you. And I don't want to say much right now. I don't want
to.
Right.
And
And so we did it in one take. And it was a blast. So I sent it to my manager, who was howling. She says, this is so funny. I don't know why. I guess people think it's pretty funny in the film too, because I've had a lot of people say, oh my God, it's short and sweet, but you made me laugh.
It's like that fine-tuned note in a song that makes the song really memorable and really, authentic.
Yes.
That's you when it comes to making appearances.
Oh, you're so funny. But anyway, so I sent it on, and then she sent it to casting. John Papadakis, who was the casting director, and they said, oh, we love this. We're sending it up there now. I said, where? Well, to Canada. I said, well, what is the movie? We don't know. We don't know anything. And casting didn't really tell my manager.
Right.
2 days later, I get an offer. And I said, well, can we find out what it is? And I'm going like crazy on IMDb. Rust City, nothing's coming up.
I noticed that IMDb, for those who don't know, the production companies, the studios, they control their own accounts at IMDb. So if they want to hide some things, they're gonna hide those things and don't reveal it till actually the time comes when things go into fruition and everything. Marvel does this a lot.
Yeah. And so I was Googling like crazy. And finally, every time I would put Rust City in, Ghostbusters would come up in like a little note on the bottom. And I called my manager. I said, is this Ghostbusters? And she goes, yes. Well, my husband, who was a huge fan, I don't remember I shouldn't say this, but I don't remember as much about it as he does. He
Right.
loved, he was screaming. I was screaming. We were jumping up and down. We were so excited. And I guess all the kids that didn't know what they were auditioning for, they all said the same thing. Because when I got up there and I hung out with them, because I just hung out with all the kids
Mhm.
that are hanging out with Finn and Celeste and McKenna while they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
And it was, and Jason Reitman, sweetest guy. His dad was there. Wonderful. I didn't get to see all the legends. They came later.
Right.
But oh, they were so nice. And I got this when I wrapped my scene. Jason comes up to me and he says, "Open your hand." And this is as soon as we had finished, he said, "Now don't close your eyes." So I closed my eyes. And he put this in here and he says, "Do not open this up till you get back to your hotel, and then put it in a safe place." And so I opened it up. Well, I started crying when I saw it when I got to
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. I mean, you know what? People haven't seen this yet, or if you're listening to this now or read, watching this now, this was one of those type of movies that kind of reminded me of Star Wars when it came back, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. No matter, even the biggest of stars wanted to be a part of it, even if it was just for a second. And I consider this like a badge of honor to have you be a part of this iconic franchise.
Absolutely.
Even if not just for a moment, but you're like, I call you I proclaim you as the queen of cameos. So what better, credit on your IMDb than to have this on it too. And you did tremendous on there.
Well, it's funny, Dex, because I think, people in the industry, they all get it. But a lot of times family and friends, they'll say, "Oh, I watched that TV show or I saw that film and you were only on for a little bit, or you just had one scene or whatever." And what they don't understand, there's so much more to it than that. By the time it actually comes out, you've gone on to whatever is coming up next in your life. When you are asked to be on a team like that, whether it's one scene or like with Narcos, 9 episodes, it's the experience. It's the process.
It's making a mark.
Where the love is. Yeah.
Right.
So, when people say, "Oh yeah, that was cute, but we only saw you for a second."
Right.
They don't get it.
You know what? And sometimes it's just not meant for them to get, but and they're never going to get it in some cases because they have this misconception of what they think the industry is.
Yes.
And
when
you look at it from the finished window, or the finished canvas, I should say, they don't know what, mediums went into it, how much time it goes into it, the little intricate techniques and everything they just see what they see and assume what they assume.
That's right. That's right.
And I will own up to it. I was one of those people too, until I started doing what I was doing and learning from you guys and all of the talented people that's been on this show about how it really goes on. So, I am grateful for the education and understanding of this. And it's a beautiful art.
It
at
is.
The end of the day.
It's so wonderful to be able to channel all these wonderful characters. I love it. Good, bad, and indifferent. It's really puts you in touch with your humanity.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love
Absolutely. So we're going to go back into the horror aspect of your career, and I just need to know. We talked a little bit about it, but can you go a little bit deeper into what is it about the horror aspect that intrigues you?
Well, I just somebody said, "Would you audition for?" I think Lizzie was the first one. And, I don't know. I think it's a very popular genre right now.
Always.
Sure. I don't know. I wouldn't say there's an addiction to it, or I should say an attraction to it. It's just one of the many things that you're looking at, evil. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, to be honest with you.
Maybe if you do, it may the mystique might go in a sense.
Yeah, it's just like making another film, but it's the flip side. You're not Miss Goody Two Shoes or whatever. It's that side of us that, and sometimes it's not that side that you show. I mean, I did a horror film called Bad Blood.
Right.
And a bad guy got me, and
Mhm. Oh yeah, I
and
remember that.
yeah, and my little doggy. I had a cute little doggy that I had in that film. That was a great crowd too. So it's just playing with all these different colors. It's like an artist playing with different colors, dark
Yeah.
shadows, bright lights, that kind of thing.
Just getting a chance to do something new too, and just challenge
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Too, also at my age, what do you want to do? Always, oh, here's a drooling person that's, sliding on banana peels and circling
Right.
the drain and, typecasting, which ageism has gotten into. And I think I've kind of broke away from that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I'm the age I'm at, but I can be in a horror film.
Mhm.
I can be on roller skates. Thank God for the health.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the memory. Yes, please keep the memory going.
Yeah, absolutely. As somebody who worked for the Alzheimer's Association at one point, I value that.
Yes, yes, I do too. I value it too. I do. So I'm thrilled that I have all these genres that I get asked about and asked to do.
Yeah. I mean, was there a horror movie that you were in love with that you first fell in love with that was like, okay, I could get into this, or was it not
Well,
until you actually started venturing
no,
in through it?
I was a Psycho fan. As scary as that
The original
mother dog
Hitchcock.
was. Oh yeah, with Jamie's mom,
Yeah.
Janet Curtis, Janet, Janet Lee, yeah, her mom,
Mhm.
and Tony Perkins. Oh my God, that shower scene.
That's still
like
standing the
freak-
test of time. Isn't it amazing?
Oh yeah, I mean, till this day, I still lock the door when I take a shower. I do. I mean, that thing scares
Thank you,
the
Sir
hell out of
Alfred.
me. Yes. Yes. Oh, he was the man. Hitchcock was the man for sure.
Right. Absolutely. You know, it's funny. Like I see Jordan Peele as becoming the new him.
Yes.
What
Oh,
he's done.
Get Out. Oh,
Yeah, his
saw
mindset
it
is
3
so
times.
cerebral.
Yeah, I saw Get Out 3 times.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know what? And again, that's a testament to him because I was intrigued about that movie and his movie Us. And I'm not a horror buff like that, but I know that he's very cerebral with
Yes.
with the way he does things. So there's always a little bit of a hidden message within everything that he does. And there's something there's some layers to it.
Yes.
And it intrigued both of them intrigued me enough. Like I can't say enough about him, but like he also has the Alfred Hitchcock aspect to it as well. And
Oh,
which means it's very methodical. It's just not just there to just creep you out or scare you, but it's also to make you think in some cases. And intrigue you.
I forgot to say, I was in Insidious 4, but my scene got deleted because it was seriously because it was so scary. They couldn't get the PG-13 rating.
Deleted in the sense that they put it in the deleted scenes of a DVD or
they had to delete everything on it.
wow.
But they Adam Robital, who is the director, and actually that's how I got on Amy because he was friends with Gus Cooper. It's all kind of word
Yeah.
of mouth. He said he sent me a shot of the scene. I was a kitchen nanny.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that did kind of that kind of blew me away a little.
He was like,
bit.
oh, I get it
I was
now.
a little, when I saw that, I was like, oh, is that me? I don't know. Did you really do that?
Oh my goodness. So let's go to the cameos again. Along with, like I said, you're like the queen of cameos, and you've been in a ton, and I mean like a ton of different appearances. And I would say like there are two people that I know for sure that I can call iconic in terms of making cameo appearances. That would be Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother.
Yes.
Remember how many movies and shows he turned up in every single time?
Boy, you really are a movie buff. Yes.
I'm a big fan of Ron Howard, so I was intrigued to know that he had
too.
family, coming along the lines of this. And then, of course, the late great Stan Lee, who was just in everything of it that was said Marvel.
Yes.
And like you appear in so many TV shows and comedies. Like I just love watching TV of whether it's a new show or just like a current show, and you just pop up out of nowhere.
Literally, like United We Fall, and then I got to work with
That show was so fun. I really enjoyed that show.
Jane Curtin. Oh my gosh. I mean, I spent because I was on set for a week with that because we had a live audience.
Yeah.
And I just started crying when I saw her. I just said, you and Gilda are my all-time heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the sweetest and nicest lady. She gave me the biggest hug.
Oh.
And we had so much fun, because I had to tell her off. And I was the cookie at the end of that episode.
Yeah, right.
She left me in, one of those what do you call those places that you go? I can't remember now. Oh God. The discovery rooms or that kind of stuff.
Right.
For 3 days, the escape room.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. And I got lost and it was funny, but we had a ball. We just had so much fun. So when you do these one scenes, people think, oh, were you there 5 minutes? Oh, you're there a week. There's all kinds of different stuff going on that you got to be part of. I mean,
trust me. Like I said, I understand. Like I said, I definitely understand because I've done like video shorts and promos and all the stuff, or just videos, vignettes that can be maybe like 5 minutes to 11 minutes. They don't know that takes like almost 12 hours sometimes. Just the filming part is like kind of the quickest part of it, but the editing and adding the effects and the production, that takes hours.
Yes.
Consistency.
Yes.
So I can only imagine what it takes to do a 22-minute episode or whatever like that and to cram it all down and get the best parts of it. This is just lonely old me. You guys have a team. So
yes,
I can only assume and understand how strenuous that is. And people, again, it's the misconceptions of people because they see the finished product.
Yes.
As opposed to the draft.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, but what a fun thing. What a fun way to go.
Of all of the appearances that you've ever made, do you have a top one or a favorite one that you among them all? And there's a lot.
Well, a number one, I have to say was Narcos because first of all, I went down to South America and I love the music. I love the dancing.
Yeah.
They love music there, like in between shots and on the set, we're doing the cha-cha. Pedro Pascal and Boyd Holbrook, who I did all my scenes with for all 9 episodes, 2 of the greatest guys. And Patrick St. Esprit and Richard T. Thomas. Oh, I mean, I just had so much fun with those guys. Richard T. Jones. I mean,
right.
When you get to be involved in a series, you become a family.
Yeah.
And that really is the ideal. Not because it's a series or not because you get more camera time, because you get to work with the same people, almost like you do in theater when you're in a long run. And you become close and the director factor, you're more relaxed. They get the best work out of you. When you go in and you do a one-day guest star or something like that, and everybody else is a team and you're sort of this outsider coming in.
Right.
That's a little more tension.
Pending that you don't know the cast and crew involved already.
Right. And they're like, okay, here's this person coming in for one day. I hope they know their lines. We got to get moving here. We haven't got time to, pamper this individual. We got to go on to the next thing. I mean, not that they've ever done that.
Right.
So Narcos number one was most favorite. I love Parks and Rec because when I went to Parks and Rec, I got to do my scene with Amy Poehler, who was so great. And we had so much fun. And right that day after I did that scene as the reporter,
the episode was funny.
They asked me to come back. They said, we want you back. And so to get off a set and have them say that immediately before they even call your agent or anything, they were a great crowd. I don't know. I have to say I had a blast, and I had a terrific blast with something that hasn't come out yet.
Right.
It's coming out in 2022, and I really can't say much, but it's
we'll keep the suspense there.
Yeah, it's Day Shift with the man himself, Jamie Foxx, and it'll be coming out on Netflix probably in the next 6 months.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fast and furious, but it's pretty fun.
I'm gonna get a little real with this one with this next question because it was involved in 2020. Of course, I connected with you during 2020, and we, I've seen what you were going,
Thanks
doing.
to Miley Flanagan, yes.
There you go. And the pandemic, and I know for a fact because I've interviewed other actors and talent during the course of that year, and I know that a lot of people were affected in some form or fashion, whether it be mentally, physically, project wise. Hollywood was experiencing it too. Like, how were you able to cope with the pandemic, and how did it affect you? How did it affect your progress in Hollywood?
Actually, I made great progress.
Hmm.
I have to say, 2020 was a really big year for me. I mean, I shot 2 films, a
Right.
TV show. I did a bunch of voice dubbing.
Hmm.
And I'll tell you what was great about it for me. I have always been an independent contractor,
Right.
self-employed in anything I've done, even when we were raising our family.
Mhm.
And I love working out of my house. So a lot of people were furious about, oh, what's this going to do? They don't like the self tapes and all that.
Yeah.
Loved it. Moved out here, took this room I'm in now.
Mhm.
We got the collapsible backdrop.
Yeah, this is why we got a
Um,
lot in common here.
yeah, yeah, a lot in common. I got the light rings when I was doing the voice dubbing before we went back into the studio.
Mhm.
The digital people sent me all the equipment.
Yeah.
My husband, who is always on target with anything I need, just a great partner, took a little closet here and turned it into a little sound.
You got the closet
for
studio
me.
going on.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I edited. I got on iMovie with my app.
Mhm.
I mailed these, emailed these auditions. That's how I got all this work.
Yeah.
It took me out of traffic, out of rush hour,
Mhm.
out of people giving you the finger on the 405. I mean, I still go in all the time to do
Right.
whatever I have to do,
Right.
but we're still theatrically doing mostly self-tape. I
Yeah.
love it.
And
I
you know, it's
truly love it.
I agree. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. I think what 2020 show was a lot of perseverance from a lot of people in terms
Yeah.
of like how they're going to be able to, because you had people like yourself who would travel from place to place to get these scenes, and
Yes.
especially for actors who do voice roles, especially
Yes.
because I felt that they persevered the most because they started understanding how to do closet studios. Molly, especially as herself, was able to do her scenes, within her closet space and stuff like that. And a lot of the other actors who normally do like anime roles and all that stuff,
Yes.
we were seeing, them being able to assimilate, if you will, into these definite things. And it seems like that same thing is happening to you. Do you think that you see this as a mainstay for Hollywood now, as a new structure?
Well, my manager seems to think theatrically it is.
Mhm.
Commercially, not so much.
Yeah.
For
There's some things
commercial,
you just can't do.
yeah. Commercially, the callbacks are a big deal. They bring
Yeah.
in the client, the ad agency, the
Mhm.
director. They want to see who is this person, even
Yeah.
though, maybe you don't say a word and it's just a split second for
Yeah.
Geico or whoever.
Right. Right.
So I am going back in for those, but I have been told that theatrically, pretty much that first shot is going to continue to be self-tape.
Yeah.
And then, then they may want to do a Zoom meeting. Then you may have to go into the studio and meet with people
Right.
before network approves. That could happen. In the case of the films that I did, they booked me totally off tape. Yeah. In the last year, totally off tape. And then
That's
of course they do
definitely
all
good.
the COVID testing,
Right. And that, yeah. And then there's that.
and I'm fully vaxxed and boosted. I mean, so is my husband. We're just like,
Awesome.
hey, yeah, families, same with the family. So
Yeah, that was one of my biggest things too, because I know, a lot of you guys from in that industry now, and especially when it came to you and Molly, I was like, and in some cases I was worried, but in some cases I'm not, because I know you guys are stupid. You guys, you
Yes.
guys know how to take care of yourselves properly, and you're not in any way have I want to say flipped up mindset.
Well,
Of the
the
people in
thing is,
terms of this.
I grew up when friends got polio.
Yeah.
Nobody was sitting around discussing, should we get a polio shot
Right.
or whatever, And I mean, I think about the mumps shot. They
Yeah.
didn't have that. And they didn't have that when I was in my 20s and I was pregnant with my fourth child.
Yeah.
And I got the mumps from the 2-year-old and the 3-year-old. And so we were all quarantined and it was awful and so painful. And I was 9 months pregnant. So, when some of the folks and hey, I respect people's freedom. You do what you do. But
Right.
this isn't just about you or me. It's about the people around you, especially us older folks or people that are immune compromised.
I just don't understand why that.
Do it for somebody else,
Right.
Take your brain out of your own head and do it for somebody else.
Agreed. I can't fathom
That's
or
a whole
understand
nother
the
story.
situation as to why people, I mean, I grew up, I was born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, but during that time, there were people still were thinking about other people,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't get this ideology that we're in right now. It's just crazy.
I know.
But
Yeah.
also, going on to that as well, Hollywood has seen a lot of changes or an attempt for changes, in terms of, opportunities for orientation, gender, race, ageism, as you mentioned before. What are your thoughts because of your career? What are the thoughts of the process so far in that terms of opportunity as well? Are you seeing a different form of ideology in Hollywood, or do we still have a long way to go?
I'm seeing change. I think
Mhm.
we always have a long way to go,
Yeah.
because we were so stunted and
Yeah. That's a great word. Yeah.
and it was really stunted in the way we treat humanity or the way we think about people and stereotypes and all this and that. But I'm seeing change. Yeah, I think especially with ageism. I mean, we want to keep going on it,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's just been some great opportunities, and I hope I think part of it is we've got the writers now writing and
Right.
exposing things that nobody would expose before.
Right.
I'm watching Dope Sick, for example, with
Mhm.
Michael Keaton. Oh my goodness, what a fabulous show. I mean, it breaks my heart every episode. But they're exposing things. I'm a big fan of the morning show with Reese and Jennifer,
Everybody
who are
loves that
producing it.
show.
But the themes of that
Yeah.
are redemption and
Mhm.
forgiveness. And they're,
Which is funny because they're if I haven't watched the show, but I know that they're covering the cancel culture type of storylines as well
yes,
in there,
yes,
which I thought was
definitely.
very interesting. They're just going full force with it and giving a perspective of it,
Oh
which I
yeah,
actually appreciate.
right. And I think that that's going to keep moving us forward. Are the
Yeah.
writers, the
Mhm.
creatives, the artists. They're doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. And boy, there's just some amazing stuff out there right now. Amazing shows.
Yeah. Now, speaking of which, because you're an admirer of all these other projects and shows, was there ever a TV show or movie, rather past, present, that you wanted to be a part of? Like, say, when you were growing up, you watch, like you said, Psycho, or you watched a certain other film that you're like, you damn it, you wanted to be a part of this, and this has probably even inspired you to become an actor.
Absolutely. I was an only child. I had a great imagination. I was always playing dress ups and doing shows with my
Right.
cousin from about age 8 on. Um, Mary Martin, Peter Pan. Oh God, that is something. I mean, I just got off that kick
Right.
of saying, is anybody gonna let me fly? Because I remember she was Peter Pan
Mhm.
and PBS televised it, and she was
Yeah.
in her 60s and she put the wires on. Oh, I love that role. I love it. They'll never give it to me, but whatever. Sound of Music, saw Sound of Music like 25 times.
Yeah, Karen used to come on every year on like NBC and all this.
Oh yeah. I think the inspiration there wasn't so much I wanted to do that role.
Mhm.
I wanted to be Maria. I wanted to be the nun that had this wonderful family.
Yeah.
And I have lived that life in my fantasy. I've lived it because when I was young, I didn't know if I wanted to be a nun or have a big family, and
Right.
I picked a big family.
Right.
Yeah. No, Sound of Music. There's so many movies. Chicago. You know, I'm a big fan of musicals. I love to dance. My daughter's
Right.
a wonderful dancer in New
And
York.
you do, along with Molly and a few others, that you do theater as well.
I do. I love theater. My favorite role of all time was Violet, August Osage County.
Right.
I loved doing Ripcord. I think there's one role I still would love to do, and that would be Sister Aloysius, I believe, in Doubt. I'm a big John Patrick Shanley fan.
Right.
You got to say that fast. It's a tongue. Especially at this hour, right? It's not that late or early.
So first, I want to thank you again for being, I was about to say it. I was literally about to say thank you for being a friend. But
thank you for being a friend.
It's hard not to in this case, but definitely, no, I always appreciate you. Molly having us meet was a gift.
Oh, yeah. Gift.
Getting to know you, you're like one of the sweetest people I ever got a chance to know. And I love your career. I love your path. Definitely I got one more question for you. Then I want to get you a chance to get plugs. And this is a lesson. This is something that I think will benefit the listeners, because there are some listeners there on my platform that are aspiring actors who may want to, learn the ropes, but they got to, like I always have the saying, like, you have fun doing what you're doing, but you got to, and it's a lot of fun, but you got to work hard to have fun.
Yes.
In your experience in TV and film, what would you say is the biggest lesson learned that carries with you?
I think the biggest lesson is stay present. Don't let the rejection, which is 99% of your year. Sure, maybe you book a movie or a show or whatever in that year, but how many auditions did you go through?
Right.
I got to a point where I really had to walk out the door of every audition and tear the sides up, tear the script up, throw it in the trash and say, hey, I gave it 100%.
Wow.
There are some mighty fine people that are also going after this.
Yeah.
I've got no qualms. I'm detaching. That's it. And you move on. Because if you carry that rejection or try to figure it out, why didn't I get it or whatever, you got to have that next mentality.
Don't let it weigh on you. Like you cannot put too much weight on that one situation, because there's so many other situations to go.
Exactly. And one of the things that's helped, and my husband and I took this up this year, was transcendental meditation. We're doing it. And
can you explain to myself and our listeners and watchers about that?
Well, David Lynch Foundation has a lot to do with explaining it. I heard a Seinfeld interview, Jerry Seinfeld talk about what kept him from handling all the stress, especially when he had, that big show for years and years.
And I'm still watching.
Yeah, we're all doing it. And he said, have to do that twice a day, 20-minute meditation, because what happens is you learn, you have to have an instructor to learn, and then you're on your own.
Yeah.
You have to learn that, we're like an ocean, and all those waves are coming across every second. Oh, what does this person think about me? Oh, I got to pay this bill. Oh, I'm mad at this guy. Oh, all this stuff. And you got to transcend and go down into the ocean, or that part of your consciousness.
Yeah.
And they teach you how to do that. And you come out of it and you're ready to be present again and complete your day. And I'm a big fan of that.
I dig it.
A big fan of that. And the other thing that I think actors or people, writers, anybody in our industry has to realize, that I realized, is anything is possible in this business. If you're in the game and you're doing what you need to do, and that includes classes and always growing and learning and experiencing and just doing all this stuff, it is amazing what can come out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
So you have that hope that it's never too late.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Where did that come from? So instead of thinking, wow, they didn't like me over there, or they didn't cast me, or they don't like the sound of my voice.
Right.
Concentrate on all those moments where something came out of the blue, like Ghostbusters came out of the blue. I was like, what? I mean, every job I think of, every audition when it comes in, I'm like, it's like opening up a Christmas present, every single audition.
Right.
It's like, wow, Ryan Murphy wants me to audition for his show, American Horror Story. This is so neat. Wow, I'm on set today with Jessica Lange and Francis Conroy. Yike.
And I would even say even just reaching to that moment is something that you don't take for granted either.
Never.
Because
Yeah.
there's so many people, whether in your industry or even what I do and things that I do, there's so many other people that are trying to get to that level. I mean, you're at the very near rung to getting to that point, and that experience alone is treasure.
It's such a treasure. And also I think, I have some wonderful actor friends, starting with Miley. God, I love her. And I have to tell you, we are all kids. There is never a time when I'm not together with my tribe.
Yeah.
We are not laughing, supporting each other. If somebody needs something, somebody needs a reader, somebody needs, gee, I'm having a down day. We are a phone call, a text away. We are a tight knit group.
And let me tell you how rare that is today, sadly.
Oh, I know. I treasure it. I so treasure it. I love my family, but I also love my creative family as well. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Your generation, we need to get back to that. We need to learn from what you guys do in terms of like just really letting yourself go to somebody else, to really be there for somebody else. I think our ideology today is such in a frightened stage that we're afraid to reach out to each other now. That people are just, it's just with what we've been through for the last 5 years, 6 years now. It's created this mindset, this very defensive mechanism of a mindset that I think that we don't have that type of, philosophy that, you have with other friends of that generation. And we need to get back to that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I treasure it. And it's wonderful when your partner, your husband, in this case, that you've been with for 42 years is that supportive too. Awesome. Although he's not in the industry, he understands what that one little part or that one little audition, what I went through and what I did. And
that's my wife in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Wow. and I try to support him in everything he does too. And so that's a blessing too. There's lots to be grateful for.
I can definitely tell you we're according to my wife and I, we're following in your footsteps. We're 16 going to looking forward to making it to that 42 as well. It's been a great ride. It's been a great ride for both of us. And talk about great rides. This interview has been a great ride. Thank you so much, Danny.
Oh, thank you, Dax. I loved it too.
Absolutely. Before we go, you talked about gave us a little sneak hint of what's to come, but do you have anything else going for you? That you can absolutely say.
Not that I can say yet.
Everything is under wraps, but you got things coming along.
Yes.
Good enough. I do not. Look. I'm a firm believer of NDAs, and I don't want to get anybody fired or any reason. Just
no.
We'll just keep that under wraps. I'm not. The one thing I always want to make sure is that I'm not one of these interviewers that tries to grab every single thing just to get a few buzzes or anything like that. No, I want you to keep working.
I want to keep working. Oh, and 2 reminders: Sex Lives of College Girls.
Yes.
Mindy Kaling on HBO Max.
Love her. Love that show.
I'm on it. I'm Pat the registrar. I come in at about 16 minutes in. It's a longer scene than Ghostbusters, but it's important.
Hey, but you're in.
I had so much fun with them. That
knowing you is like being a cartoon character, whereas like you try to run away from somebody and you end up in like, you're trying to go to the store and you're there and you're the cashier and then you try to go to the, get away. It's like, I don't know if you ever watched the old Looney Tunes shows, but there was this one cartoon about Daffy trying to run away from the guy from the draft board, and he's everywhere. That's you.
Oh, gum on the shoe, as my husband would say. Gum on the shoe.
Right. Thank goodness there's no such thing as draft boards anymore, at least, and I hope that.
Wow.
But nonetheless, thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you too.
You're a gift and a pleasure. Absolutely. And thank
Molly. I'll come back when I got more Easter eggs to share.
Absolutely. For those who don't know, when we say Molly throughout this whole entire thing, we're talking about Molly Flanagan, the voice of Naruto, who is the reason why we are actually friends and you're on this show.
It's true. Yeah.
Absolutely. She's an angel.
My bud. She's my bud. She's always helping somebody.
Right now, I want to give you a chance to plug where people can find you, your fans, and everybody can find you, whatever.
I'm on IMDb. Danielle Kennedy. I think there's a little 1 in parentheses when you type Danielle Kennedy. You'll see a little 1 because
no, I don't want IMDb. I think I've typed you in and it shows your face.
Okay, cool. Because there are a few others on there, but you'll see. And I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I haven't done TikTok yet.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'm not touching it.
That's the grand girls, my wonderful grand girls. I got to call them to help me. But and that's another thing I didn't talk about. That wow, what a gift those grandchildren are. It's been a wonderful ride. But anyway, yeah, that's where they can find me. Just
awesome. Well, again, thank you so very much. It's been a pleasure to get to know you, to learn from you, and to see what's going to happen next. And I wish you the best. And I look forward to seeing where you're going to turn up next.
Me too. Thank you, sir.
No problem. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this very, very special episode of Talk Time Live Exclusive. On behalf of myself and the one and only lovely Danielle Kennedy, all I got to say is learn to let go, live life, and love all things anime, comics, movies, and games. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live. We are out of here. Take care. Stay safe, everybody.